Hey everyone, my name is Chris Lambert. I co-host Watching the Throne, a Kanye West podcast. And this is our YouTube channel where we tend to go over the most recent Kanye news, break it down, analyze it. This one is going to be a bit of a overview video just to catch up on a lot of the news that's happened this last week, some of the odds and ends. Real fast, I wanted to show off just a little bit. I'm going to be writing for Forbes, which is really cool because most of what I've done has been on my own sites throughout without any kind of, backing by anybody. Like we built up our podcast just on our own and through socializing on Reddit and Twitter and just putting out a good show. We put out over 300 episodes on iTunes, which is just still insane to me. Without anybody kind of helping the podcast along. So to finally have the backing of a place like Forbes, giving me the platform for some of this Kanye related content is really, exciting for me. It's nice to be at that point, right? So I'm going to be writing about, Kanye and hip hop and sometimes maybe movies. But the first piece is going up, let's see, it's 3 a.m. right now, so in like 6 hours. So you can find it in the Hollywood and Entertainment section, but it's Coachella and the Rise of the Creative Flex. And you can see the picture is from Kanye's 2011 Coachella set. You know I spent a lot of time talking about Kanye. So if you want to give that a read and give me some support, I make money per click. So one of the big things news-wise is that there have been a bunch of random leaks that dropped. I think people are talking about it as like one of the biggest dumps of Kanye leaks that we've ever seen, and it spans from 2018 all the way back to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy era. There's this Instagram account, Kanye Leaks, that is doing a wonderful job of content, not just regarding leaks, but just Kanye content in general. I mentioned the account last week, and I'm pretty sure there was just 1,000 followers, and now it's up to 3,000. And that's because the person that runs the account does a wonderful job. So you can see one of the recent leaks was Sociopath from Daytona. And the format for how Kanye Leaks talks about it, gives some backstory, when the project was from, and the title of it. So Sociopath, I got to listen to it. It's very stripped down. There's really not much production, which may be because it's unfinished. Maybe Kanye would have added some things in. But yeah, not much going on. You have Kanye at some point, I think he says, what's charcuterie or what's chartreuse? Something like that, which is pretty funny. But you hear it and you're kind of like, okay, I get why this wasn't on the album. Like if it's just 7 songs, the 7 that are on there are kind of stronger than this. And then there were a few other things, like I heard alternative outros to All of the Lights and Devil in a New Dress. I know, it sounds awesome, right? You're just like, I need to hear that. But it actually wasn't that much of anything. It's like a few changes to maybe the beats or the sample. It's maybe chopped a different way. It's not in any way dramatically different to the point where you're just like, oh my God, I love this version better. It would just kind of be some subtle changes where you're like, okay, that was cool to hear. I get why they went with what they went with, but that was cool to hear. Maybe the biggest highlight and what I think is the best find of this bunch that I've heard at least is All I Know. So it's a track that actually made it onto the Weeknd's album Starboy, and that was Weeknd and Future. But there's this 6-minute version that's Weeknd and Kanye. And you have Weeknd at the start of it and at the end, with the middle portion being like 3 to 4 minutes of Kanye. And it's cool because he's singing in a way that I don't think we've ever heard him sing before. Like the closest would be Everything from Nasir, where Kanye kind of does that falsetto chorus. He's not as high-pitched in this, but it really does feel like he's being inspired by more of the singers like Weeknd or when Drake's singing on a track. It was cool to hear Kanye do that style and to see that he could do that style so well. Like if he decided to do an album like that, it would be pretty awesome to me. Like 808s, while he sings on it, it's still so much auto-tune that it's very stylized. To just have Kanye singing and rapping would be like, that'd be cool. So you can find that. I think it's in this leak vault that's up here. There's also a 12-minute version that involves Kanye, The Weeknd, The Dream, Quavo, and Big Sean. So if you want to hear all of them, listen to the 12-minute version. There was also notably a snippet from Good Ass Job, the album that we thought we might get in 2018. That's a collaboration between Chance and Kanye. We saw a video of them in the studio back in like July or August, and everybody started to get hyped because, you know, maybe Kanye's just going to pump something out with Chance. Put something out with Chance, and it would be awesome. But it seems like the project, at least as of right now, is DOA, which is such a shame because we know Chance was all about it. And then there's also, I don't know if this is newer or older. I mean, the post is from 3 days ago. Is that right? Yeah, 3 days ago. But it's an OG version of Father Stretch My Hands that has Kendrick on it. I know a lot of people that are Kanye fans tend to be Kendrick fans for good reason. Both of them are artists. So if you respect the one, you're pretty likely to respect the other. But you can go and listen to that if you want to hear that. I actually haven't heard that one yet. And there's a few others that I think have come out with this leak dump. So definitely be sure to check those out. Coachella, Sunday service at Coachella is going to be happening at 9 a.m. Pacific time on Sunday. So if you live in the East Coast, that's 12 p.m. If you're Central Time, that's 11. If you're whatever time Denver is, that's 10 Mountain Time. Is that what that is? And then you can kind of see for some of the other locations throughout the world how the time shifts. So keep that handy. The live stream is going to be on YouTube on the Coachella page. So definitely be up on Sunday morning or stay up Sunday night. Clear your schedule wherever you are and be sure to listen to Sunday service perform at Coachella, because this is going to be the first really public offering of Sunday service that any of us have seen, which is really exciting. And we don't know what the scale of it's going to be, what it's going to look like. We just know that Kanye has a hillside in Coachella where Sunday service is going to be performed. There had been hype that Yandhi was going to drop potentially at Coachella, but Mike Dean on Twitter said that there was not going to be an album. So put those hopes to rest, but maybe we could get a release date. That's still a thing. Yandhi will come out, right? Right? Sometime. Oh, God. This is kind of a funny article. I have approximately 1,791,245 questions about Kim and Kanye's sink. You can see that the sink actually has no sink. There's not a basin. It's just the faucet with this seemingly flat surface. So people were kind of freaking out about where the water goes. You know, Kim and Kanye are so fucking rich that the water could spill everywhere, and they just have somebody that they've paid money to take paper towels and go and mop it up whenever they're done. That's a life. That is a life I am too poor to understand, but I actually imagine that it's just actually kind of slanted and the water just funnels right back towards the faucet and goes somewhere. But I thought that one was kind of funny. This comes from the fact that, and there's a few other articles on this, Kim was on the cover of Vogue and got to do 2 interviews, an interview in the magazine, and then they did a 73 questions where somebody came to the house and recorded. And that's where we got this from. Charles Hamilton, I have no idea who that is, but he's someone that got an interview with Complex. So there's that. You may know more about him than me. And he talked a bit about Kanye in the interview, saying that he had met Kanye back in the day and gives a bit of a description about that. He says that he influenced Kanye creatively and that he actually says that he was the first hip-hop blogger and that he kind of inspired Kanye's blog, Kanye Universe City. So if you're curious in this interview and didn't just read all of it right now, You can go to Complex and check it out. What else do we got? French Montana did an interview and says Kanye is working on something bigger than music. Were both of these Joshua Espinoza? Yo, Joshua Espinoza doing some work on the Kanye-related interviews. So French Montana did an interview with Zane Lowe, and he said he's working on something that's so crazy. I think he's working on something bigger than music. When I went to go see him, he showed me something that was so crazy, but that's what makes people like him stand out, because he always thinks outside the box, really outside the box. Shout out to Kanye. I just see that Kanye is trying to do something that's going to change the world, whether it's something to help people or something like, I feel like he's going to touch something that's going to change everybody's life. This seems like it could be beyond music. We know that Kanye has been looking into, especially at the end of 2018, schools, architecture for housing and homes, how cities, develop. Kanye, we learned from the Charlemagne the God interview last year, had purchased something like 300 acres of land and was looking to build a community. So it almost seems like we're going to get like this little mini Kanye city that might be a test run for, I don't know, a new kind of infrastructure that Kanye's kind of been thinking about through in his head, and which is why he was meeting with people in Detroit, Chicago, Miami, and other places. French goes on to say he gave some insight into Kanye's new musical direction. The whole time I'm with him, he's telling me about the church, and he's telling me about what his direction with the music is going. The whole time he's like, I'm thinking about doing this, all right? You know, I'm in that spirit, you know? So I play him a couple records. I played a record called Wiggle It. When the record stopped, he said, what you doing with that record? I said, my God, I thought you were going towards Jesus. This is across the street right here, which by that I'm pretty sure he's just meaning Wiggle It is way more graphic and sexual. So what's Kanye want to do with that when he's like making this gospel music, you know? So that's pretty funny. And they have the link to the full interview here if you want to check it out. What else do we got going on? Oh, Kanye wore a Eddie Bauer jacket. You can see Team Kanye Daily talked about it. And there's this article, is Kanye West bringing back Eddie Bauer, the brand streetwear forgot? So it gets into kind of the history of Eddie Bauer not being a thing currently, but having been a thing at one point in time. And you may remember Kanye talking about how he had the Expedition Eddie Bauer edition. Ford had a partnership with Eddie Bauer for a little while where they had these line of Eddie Bauer branded SUVs, the Explorer and the Expedition, which when I was growing up, I always thought was the coolest thing you could possibly have. And Kanye must have agreed because he had one that he used to roll around in. Of course, he had the brand name on the brand name when he had a car. So this is just kind of going over that. So if you're interested in fashion and kind of fashion brands and this idea of Kanye's resurgence of a dead brand, that's the article for you. This guy, Phil Manzanera, explains how Jay-Z and Kanye West sampled him. So a little bit of insight into, whatchamacallit, No Church in the Wild. And that this guy, Phil Manzanera, who was sampled on No Church in the Wild, just talking about how he was contacted and his experience with being sampled by them and his thoughts on it. By them, Kanye and Jay-Z. And then we got the 73 questions with Kim, and you can see that Kanye appears. It's initially just Kim, and they go into a room, and the guy's like, oh, Kanye, you're here. Oh, no, that's not right. Kanye opens the door, and the guy's like, oh, my God, Kanye. And he's like, I'm here to do 73 questions. And Kanye's like, okay, let's do them. And Kim's like, no, they're for me. Like, get out of here. But then Kanye reappears with the kids. And you have a couple lines. Kim says that she's on a parenting advice group chat with her sisters. And Kanye says, but they don't get advice from me. Can I get on that chat, please? And then Kim talks about being proud of giving Kanye financial advice. And Kanye says, you give me some advice, but I don't listen to it, and kind of laughs. Not maliciously, like, you idiot, but just joking. So it's a really fun video. It goes by pretty fast. So I recommend checking that out just for the fun of seeing kind of the household and the family. The analogs are going to be dropping soon. The date is April 27th, so we got about 2 weeks before they come out. I actually thought I was going to get these, which would be my second pair of 700s. I ended up getting I was actually not going to get the inertias, and I was going to wait for the the analogs, because I liked the white look. But then they dropped the Vanta and the black 350s. So I think I might hold off on the analogs, but I do really like them. And I still haven't gotten a 700 V2 yet, maybe at some point, but they are really cool. Though, who knows? I wasn't going to get the inertias until they dropped, and I was just like, they're sitting right there. I need to do a Yeezy showcase at some point, though clean the bottom of them before I show them off. And then lastly, I just thought this was pretty funny, as the rivalry and little petty battles and squabbles between Kim and Taylor Swift have heated up over the years, that it's no longer just Kanye and Taylor, that it's like Kim. So there seems to be rumors that Taylor is going to release her new album on April 26th, and she's kind of been teasing it on Instagram. There's been a countdown, and Kim just saying that she's going to launch her new fragrance on the same day. You know, people getting into the speculation that People magazine now does. Kind of a fun theory. And if you're just kind of into like Kim and Kanye being like, yeah, you know, one up, that's that. And I guess that does it for all the Kanye West news recap that we're doing today. If you have any questions about anything else, anything that you want me to talk about, go ahead and leave a comment below, and I'll hopefully get to it. We just had, what's the recent episode? IWTT. Come on. Loading. This is new. We just had our Through the Wire episode come out. Mr. Unbreakable is the subtitle. So if you want to hear our line-by-line lyrical analysis of Through the Wire, that is up now. And we also have our Fade episode coming out next week. If you join Club Kanye, our Patreon, you can get the Club Kanye and every song analysis a week early, and also have access to some special bonus episodes we do. Like, we're going to be recording tomorrow one on the making of the Runaway movie. So stay tuned for that. And thank you for watching the video. If you have, again, any questions or thoughts or anything, leave them below. Until the next one, stay wavy, keep it loopy, and we will talk soon. See ya.